Hello, welcome back to another episode of Somewhere Between a Film and TV podcast. I'm your host, Daniel Parra, and number one, thank you so much for listening and watching. Number two, if you could please down below, like, comment, and subscribe. What did you think of the Super Mario Galaxy movie? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Or are you somewhere between on it? I want to know. Also, heads up guys, if the lighting looks a little bit different, something's going on with my light, hopefully we can figure that out, but it's good for now. Either way, Illumination's first collaboration with Nintendo was a very big deal when it came out. It came out a few years ago, and it really, I think, honestly, just decimated the box office, destroyed so many expectations, and was very, very loved by kids. Now, continuing that, what I want to say, do I have a bias towards this franchise series, whatever you may call it? Yes, in a sense, I absolutely do. I also really, really love Mario Galaxy. Mario Galaxy in particular is one of the best games I've ever played. Admittedly, I have not played the second one. The Wii U escaped me, much like a lot of people. It didn't do too well back in its original release. But the first one is still a pioneering, groundbreaking platformer with some of the most insane music I've ever heard and some of the most intricate and detailed level design just on a stunning level that I'd ever seen. And I also really love Odyssey as well from, I was going to say a few years ago. Apparently it's nearly a decade old, I was reading. That's crazy. But we're here to talk about the movies themselves. And the first one I enjoyed. I think you could even go back and find a review of it somewhere. I believe it's still around, but I liked it. It is very much a disposable thing. I mean, it's very cutesy and it's stunning to look at, and then it's over. And I know that some people had some reservations about Illumination doing that. Now, I get that. Admittedly, though, I do enjoy the Despicable Me movies. I don't love them. I love the first one and the second one, but I mean, they're enjoyable and they're a good time. And here, I think it is totally valid to say that both of these have zero plot, and that the plot can extend to a princess gets captured and they gotta go and figure out what that's all about. The first one definitely was a lot more you're in Mario and Luigi's shoes because they get transported. Here it's absolutely more so there's a lot going on here. And telling you guys that I love this movie in particular, did I hate it or am I somewhere between? Well, I guess I would fall under the somewhere between category. I didn't love it. I enjoyed it though. I thought that it was better than the first one, honestly kind of by a lot. The one thing that this doesn't have on the first one is that Donkey Kong's in that one, and I love Donkey Kong. But overall, the highest praise I can give it, there are two things I loved. Actually, three. Jack Black as Bowser continues to be putting in just this like next level performance as this character. It's very much him lending his own persona into Bowser and kind of playing up his own perception of it. It doesn't feel like he's trying to do like, this is what I think that Bowser acts like in the game. No, this is very much Jack Black's take on this particular character. And I think that he does really, really well in it. And I really enjoy that character. And he continues to be the standout to me. He was definitely my favorite part of this movie. Every time he was on screen and when they finally get him like back to normal size, I was ecstatic. I love this character in this series for whatever reason. And other thing definitely stems back into the game though. And well, these next two things, the music. That waltz thing also plays in this. That's in Super Mario Galaxy, and it's ridiculously well done. I don't know why the music is so good. There's like this like full orchestral going at it in terms of just this grandiose beauty to the music, and you're like, why does this movie deserve all that? And then you're like, I mean, they went all out on it for sure. Nothing I can say about, like, I cannot discredit the people that made this are clearly fans of it. And or you know, in this case, Miyamoto, I believe, being really heavily involved with the creation of it. And sometimes I'm gonna admit, I feel like you can feel that constraint there, and we'll get into that in a second. But the music's incredible, and of course, it's animation, so you feel like you're gonna say this, but it looks amazing. It looks just spectacular. There's a scene kind of early on with Rosalina and the stars and the whole platform, the observatory where they're at. That's stunning. All the details of the books and the pages and this like storybook thing that they're reading, and the intricate like small details. Also, whenever Bowser's like using this puppet for cardboard, it looks like real cardboard, and it just looks like that Captain Underpants movie kind of, with the really seemingly like real life integration of that into animation that I couldn't even tell. I couldn't tell you if that was like a weird visual trick that they decided to do with like a live action component. No idea. But it was just that good. And every level that is technical, this is a spectacular movie. It just has a lot of problems in the sense that if I were to tell you the plot of this movie, let's try and break that down for a second. And I get it. I know. You're like, oh, brother, like 27-year-old man that's like complaining about Mario. And I mean, in a case, yes. And I did grow up with Mario Galaxy. That was my time. I was, long time ago. I was 8. Came out 2008, 2007. I was around 8 or 9 years old. And I loved that game. Also, there are some, and I also love Super Mario Sunshine, and there are references to those two in particular that made me very happy. They had the guys from Delfino Plaza in there walking around a lot. Me, very happy. I kind of hope that that gets adapted into something at some point as well. I love that game. But here, it's just so rambunctious and mile a minute. It feels like it's catered to the kid audience of modern day, in that it cannot stop moving. If I were to try and lay out the plot for you, it would be Rosalina is introduced and is kidnapped by Bowser Jr. and needs to be saved by Mario and Luigi and Peach and Toad and Bowser. But while that's going on, there's also this like subplot with Peach and her origin and Toad and exploring that. And then Fox McCloud shows up there, which I'll get into. And then Mario and Luigi are doing their own thing where they're hanging out with Bowser and they're trying to aid Bowser in being a better father, but then Bowser goes off to try and be a better father, but then doesn't really do it. Just feels kind of an internal struggle the entire time. And I think what was interesting to me is it felt very much like anytime I started to think about it too hard, it would throw a thing at me that I'm like, oh, I know that reference. I like that thing. And admittedly, I gotta say, it kind of worked for a long time. Up until there's like something that's referenced that you don't care about that much. Like, for example, for me, I don't mind baby Mario and baby Luigi, but that's never been a thing for me where I've been like, oh my God, I love it when they're babies. No, I remember that I would actually get agitated whenever they were babies in Mario Kart. And so seeing them show up like actually broke the illusion for me entirely because of PTSD from Mario Kart. And I was like, no, we can move on from this. And it was funny because then it was at that point that I was like, there's so much stuff happening in this movie. Like, we saw it kind of late at like 9 something, felt exhausted by the time it was over. It felt very much like a movie that was the equivalent to a sugar rush. So you ate like just 10 of the unhealthiest sugary things for you, and then you just had to like lay out and lie down. And you had a good time doing it. It's just the after effects that you're like, oh my God, I gotta lie down. But like I said, a lot of it I think is just maybe even frustrating because there's so much good stuff in there that part of you almost wants them to dig deeper. You're like, I don't want to credit you for me being satisfied off of the pure like, oh, I enjoy this, it's fun, it's silly alone. I kind of want you guys to push for something a little bit deeper. And I get how it sounds out loud. You're like, you want this from the Mario movie? I don't know, maybe. Like, people said this about the Lego movie, didn't they? And there is a substantial amount of depth and character exploration and development in those. So I don't think it's like beyond saying that it's possible. I even, you know what? Hell, I even enjoyed the actual idea that Bowser kind of is regretful about being a neglectful father. I like that. And it could have been dug into deeper, I felt. The joke with Benny Safdie, of all people, Bowser Jr., and every time he would like go off on these like insane rants, and then Bowser saying like, "Oh, I am a good father." That's hilarious. But like, what is the mindset there? Why does he think like that? And outside of it's funny, which solid reasoning, I suppose. Like you can get away with that for a lot of things. But I think part of me was just like, I like this. I am enjoying this. I cannot help but feel like I would be loving this if it went a little bit above its own aspirations because of the goodwill that you have built with me. I thought that this was better than the first. I thought it was better paced. It was a little too chaotic, actually. And I thought that it was a little bit more trusting of its audience to just see weird stuff on the screen because they would just show creatures and be like, yeah, that's this world. And also the power-ups and not explain them, but just kind of show them. I thought that was cool, too. I can also acknowledge, though, as somebody that is an outside viewer in the sense that I have played these, but I want to put myself into the perspective of maybe people that haven't, that they're going to be like, why do they keep cutting to these montages of like them doing the power-up thing over and over? And like, why is Luigi a frog? Why did that happen? Why do they keep showing stuff like that? And to be honest with you, to a little bit of a degree, I agree. I think that if this movie would have explained itself a little bit more, not even in the mechanics of how the world works, I don't need all that. I would just like more of the dynamic of the characters within this world. If they could just like sit down for a second and, I don't know, talk about something. There's so much like go throughout this entire thing that, to be honest with you, if you really sat back and thought about it, you'd be like, why is Peach so insistent on going to get Rosalina? I understand that they acknowledge later that they're related, they're sisters. But how does that make this character we're following feel? I know that even the couple of moments where Bowser and Luigi and Mario are talking and Bowser's like lamenting about like, oh, I haven't been a great father. And then even to the extent of Mario like having feelings for Peach. And then I'm sure you're like, an 8-year-old's not going to enjoy this. But I think that like, it's just to me that I'm kind of like, okay, a movie like Shrek 2 is exactly as long as this is. And I feel like is able to dig into every single one of those dynamics really well. It's able to break down its world without having to explain anything. We accept it as is, the whole far, far away concept as like a parallel to Hollywood, as well as the dynamic between Shrek, Fiona's dad, and the mom, and the whole subversion of expectation when it comes to like the breakdown of fairy tale within that world. I couldn't help but feel here, I was like, this is ambitious in the sense that they are just going ahead and showing all of this stuff on the screen. The world, the galaxy hopping, the star stuff, where they like can spin in the star and then launch into a different planet. Very cool, very well done. But then part of me is also just like, but if you like would, I don't know, sit down and aim a little bit higher in your aspirations, that there could be something truly special here. Instead, what I think this is I think this is fun. I think it's good. I would call no part of this bad. Some of it's just really fluffy. It's all fluff. A lot of it's really fluffy. And I just think that like while watching it, I was like, there is a potential here. What I'm watching, I am enjoying. But there's also a potential for more. And part of it, to me, might even feel like maybe even the hand of Nintendo. Kind of a pun in that, the Smash Bros thing. Kind of not what I meant to do. But is there a reason, and I know that there is, that Mario can't communicate his feelings to Peach? Yes, because it's written within this weird like contract thing that Mario's not allowed to have that relationship. And part of you's like, okay, but if we're in the constraint of even like effective character development relationship building, then the whole subplot you set up at the beginning about him developing feelings and like not being able to read the room or whatever is just abandoned. Every single subplot that has to do with like something like that is just skimmed over. One of the ones that I enjoyed, and I thought it was smart in the first one, right? Whenever Donkey Kong and him are about to bond, and then it kind of cuts short while they're on the boat, and he's like, I still hate you. He's like, I don't care about this. I thought that's really funny. Here, they do something with Toad and Yoshi that's very similar, where you think Toad's going to be jealous, and he is for about a minute, and then he's like, no, you're cool. And then that's it. And I was like, you know what? That one I respect. It's more the other one that I'm kind of like, what is this? And I like that Bowser and Luigi and Mario and that whole dynamic, they kind of coast off of like a vibe with each other. They're like frenemies, but they're kind of chill with each other by the end of this movie. And they can just sense the conflict, but then it's almost like Bowser's like, I gotta be supportive of my son, so I kind of gotta like beat you guys up. And then it's just like, I actually thought that there was more to that than maybe even the movie itself was giving itself credit for. And maybe that's just me being like, no, you guys could have done something even deeper with this. And maybe that's just not what they were trying to do. And outside of that, I will also say the visuals and the action is spectacular. The action in the third act is really, really cool. I love the power-up stuff. I love Bowser Jr.'s specific ability with paint. Really cool. And it reminded me of Epic Mickey, which I'm sure that this Bowser Jr.'s power probably came before. I could not attest to that. I could tell you which ones I've played, which is 64, Odyssey, Galaxy, and Super Mario Brothers 2, I believe. And did I say Mario 64? That one as well. My favorite's definitely Galaxy, and Odyssey left a really strong impression on me. Maybe because it was easy and I'm really shit at games, but I loved it. And overall, I just was kind of like, I liked this. I would even watch it again. I would have no issue going back, even if somebody was like, do you want to go see Mario Galaxy right now? I'd be like, yeah, absolutely, sure. And it's kind of one of those things where I'm just like, but maybe if the third one, I don't know, wanted to aim a little bit higher in its ambition, I just think that there's something there. There's something there that I don't even think that the way that Illumination is operating right now with this particular series, even they might not acknowledge or not even know. But I find that it's good. It's family entertainment that I liked. And I'm sure that a lot of the people that watch this are going to have to watch this again and again, and they probably have no issue with that. It's good. It's funny. And one other thing I will say is I love Yoshi. I also love Donald Glover. If I didn't know that that was him, I would have never known. But I love Yoshi a lot in this. He's cool. And he's very much like the Grogu, you know what I mean, the dinosaur sidekick toy that is going to be sold a lot of, I'm sure. And I also thought Glenn Powell as Fox McCloud was pretty awesome. Only thing is, he kind of shows up to like posture and then be cool, and then he gets them one place to another, and then that's it. I was like, this is more like a lip service thing to me that he's in this, that he's just like, oh, cool, Fox. Where could that lead? Which I was assuming was going to be Smash Bros, but they were saying that they're not doing that anytime soon. But anytime soon does not mean never. And overall, yeah, I left it going. I liked it. It was good. And I fell in love with the visuals of it. I will say, do I want to see more of this world? Absolutely. I think that there's so much to do here. They said they wanted to do Luigi's Mansion. Absolutely, yes, do it. But I couldn't help but think, if they're going to approach it in the way they're approaching it right now, I don't know, maybe restrain yourselves just a little bit more. Like, you guys don't understand, like, the gravity of how entertaining Mario is just by his pure, like, presence alone. You don't have to throw everything at the wall to see what sticks, in my opinion. But yeah, overall, I'm going to give this a score. I'm going to give this a 3.5 out of 5. That's a very solid. It's good. I liked it. Overall, what did you guys think of the Super Mario Galaxy movie? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Or are you somewhere between on it? I've talked to plenty of people that loved it. They were like, oh yeah, that was so great. I thought it was even better than the first. Tell me what you think. I want to know. I thought it was better than the first as well. I think I gave them the same score, but I think that there's some stuff in the first one that I really like, but there's even more, I think, just immersion in the world here for me. But yeah, again, thank you guys so much for listening and watching. If you could, please, down below, like, comment, subscribe, tell me what you thought. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time.